Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today in this video lecture I shall be discussing how irony works in the short story The Necklace by the famous French author Guy de Maupassant. As far as irony is concerned, basically there are two types of irony which work in the plot of this short story. One is dramatic irony and the other one is situational irony. Now let us first discuss what dramatic irony is. Dramatic irony is basically related, to the awareness of the audience of the very situation in which the characters of that short story are in. And this awareness, whatever the audience is aware of regarding the situation of the characters, completely, that awareness differs from the situation in which the characters exist. And as a result of that, what happens is often it gives rise to a contradictory meaning, and the words and actions of the characters completely differ and also lend a different meaning to the text. So this is dramatic irony. And as far as situational irony is concerned, from the word itself we can understand that what situational irony is. Situational irony is basically when actions or events that have an effect, that is, they seem to have an effect which is completely opposite from the one that is intended, or where the outcome is generally contrary to expectation. This is what we mean by situational irony. As far as this story is concerned, The Necklace, we find that there are several situations where the irony works, and so we come across several instances in the story where there is situational irony. First, let me talk about the dramatic irony. Now, the main irony in the story is that the Loisels, like both Madame Loisel and Mr. Loisel, like they, they get into a huge debt in order to replace an apparently expensive necklace, but which was in reality a cheap imitation one. So this is basically the dramatic irony. Now, if we talk about the situational irony, we find that there are several instances. Firstly, if we look at the character of Mathilde, we find that Mathilde has always wanted to climb up the social ladder, and she always wants and craves for the affection and attention of the other people around, and she also prefers to present herself as a wealthy, high-born lady. But in her efforts, to pretend that she is a high-born lady, she belongs to the aristocratic class, what finally happens is that she borrows a beautiful necklace from her friend, Mrs. Forestier. And as a result of that, what happened? She and her husband, they finally end up even lower in society, like the social position that they had before, even they decline lower than that. So this is this situational irony is basically related to the social decline of the Loisels. The second situational irony that we come across in the story is when that invitation is talked about in front of Madame Loisel. Her husband felt that she would be very happy, she will be very delighted that her husband has been invited. Although he's a clerk, but he has received the invitation from the Ministry of Education. But to his utter dismay, he finds that it makes her all the more distressed because she feels that she doesn't have, fancy dress or a beautiful dress or even jewelry, even a piece of stone to wear in order to present herself in the party. So, as far as the situational irony is concerned, we find that although it is expected by Mr. Loisel that this prospect of the party will delight her, instead she she descends into despair and she begins to cry. And the biggest irony, or the most important irony in the story, is that although Mathilde is married to Mr. Loisel, who is a very simple, ordinary man and is a clerk, but she always dreams of climbing up the social ladder. And it is this, and she always keeps on, daydreaming about coming out of her social position, and in fact she fails to accept the reality of her situation gracefully. And she thought that by borrowing that expensive necklace and by wearing it in that party, she will be able to rise up in the world socially. But that does not happen in reality, because later on what happens, she loses the necklace, and she as well as her husband, both of them, they run into a huge debt, because now they have to buy a replacement for that necklace. So although she has always dreamt of as I said, climbing up the social ladder, improving her social standard, because she is very much aware of social reputation, and she's very much conscious of the family rank. So the irony in this short story is that while Mathilde and her husband, they spend almost 10 years working in order to repay the loan that they had taken to replace Madame Forestier's necklace, but which was lost by Mathilde. Still, the original necklace had been almost worthless. And this is the greatest irony, which actually shocks the reader when they come to the end of the story. And in her attempt to improve her social standing, by wearing that necklace, it actually backfires, and it makes them sacrifice 10 years of their life. So basically, it is Mathilde's dissatisfaction with her life of mediocrity, which she fails to accept, because she believes that she's so pretty, she's so beautiful, that she should have taken birth in a rich family, and she should have been also married to a rich, wealthy man. But unfortunately, that does not happen, and that she considers to be a mistake on the part of destiny. And it is her, desire to gain a social position or high social position, in society, that finally lands both of them in a situation worse than before. In fact, it is also very ironical that we find in the story Mathilde always craving for the affection of others. She wants to be a woman who would be sought after by other men. People would always envy her, whether it is men or women. But she fails to realize the simple truth, that she has got a husband who is loving, who is not only loving and caring, but who is also ready, always prepared to do, who would do just anything for her. So this simple truth is not realized by Mathilde. So basically, in this story, what we find that Madame Loisel's desire, her craving for social position, and her craving for, or her desire to be seen as a wealthy, high-born lady in society, finally make both of them suffer to a great extent. So this famous short story, The Necklace by Guy de Maupassant, employs a situational irony as well as, this dramatic irony very well, that it is able to convey the message and the moral of the story to the readers, that which is that whatever we have, whatever little we have, or whatever we are, we should always remain satisfied with whatever we have and whoever we are. We should not attempt to be something which we are not in reality, because in doing that, or in making that attempt, we may have to pay a terrible price in our life, just as we see in case of Mr. and Madame Loisel in the story The Necklace. So we find that situational irony works very well in Guy de Maupassant's short story The Necklace, which was written in 1884. In fact, this story was written during a time period when there were very disparate, or very discrete or distinct social classes, and it was primarily determined by one's birth. So basically this story is about a woman, Mathilde, who fails to accept, as I said, the reality of a situation, who fails to come to terms with her position in the society as a middle class woman, and she always refuses to accept it. And it is through this character Mathilde that Guy de Maupassant develops the story's irony. And we find that it is a Mathilde's desire that worsens their economic position, and finally makes both of them sacrifice unnecessarily for a necklace which was not a real one, but a diamond necklace which was not a real one, but which was completely close to being worthless. I hope you liked the lecture, and I hope you have been able to understand that how dramatic irony and situational irony both work in the short story The Necklace. So if you like it and if you find it helpful, so do like, share and subscribe to my channel. Until then, bye bye.